Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a look at XRP then, shall we? And just for the record, I'm short on XRP. I've been short since 19 cents, and I'm planning on holding this short probably, well, realistically to 16 cents, but the back of my mind is telling me it's going to come down a lot more than that. Maybe to 13, maybe to 12, maybe even below 10 cents. But the point of the video isn't how low is it going to go, it's how high is it likely to go in the next 18 months, 2 years, 5 years. Basically, are you a believer in XRP? So, I mean, the infrastructure is there for a coin like this, and I'm not the fundamental type of person. The main problem you'll find, I think, with XRP is that the enormous amount of total supply would limit the fact of it becoming worth probably even $100, to be honest with you. So even if it were to, we were talking 10 years from now, the only way it would become worth $100 or more would be if inflation of fiat currency increased massively, basically devaluing, the dollar. So then your $100 in 10 years' time is the equivalent of $50 today. Then maybe I would be on board for giving it a price target as that. And with the nature of what's going on in the world at the moment, there's nothing to say that inflation couldn't rear its ugly head. But anyway, that aside, it's got an enormous circulating supply, which will basically, it will mean that it cannot be worth some of these astronomical figures that people refer to on the madness that is the internet. But it doesn't mean that it's not a worthy investment, especially down at these low prices. Now, I mean, historically, when XRP pumps, it pumps, thousands of percent in small spaces of time. Between, within a few months or so, it will do that, and it's done that 3 times in the past. There's a very good chance that if you were to catch the bottom, and the bottom could be 10 cents, it could be 5 cents, that it could rally 1,000% or more from that level, which means that obviously buying it at this level is not such a bad idea too, even though I'm not a financial advisor, so this is definitely not financial advice. My plan for a while now has been to accumulate XRP just as a little bit of a what if, but I'm accumulating it in a margin account, which basically allows me to short it, because if you look at the chart, it's a very shortable asset. You know what I mean? I mean, this is the direction of the chart until it's not. So there's a few things to say that it might be coming close to a turning point. But the market as a whole, when we look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin is about to begin, well, it's already begun, it's continuing with a downtrend, and we'll talk about the downtrends and where they're likely to go for both of these assets on this video. So first of all, understanding XRP is understanding Bitcoin, because they're both basically governed by the same direction that Bitcoin does. Now, if Bitcoin goes up, XRP might go up, but it might not. If Bitcoin goes down, XRP will very likely go down. So what we've got to look at is what's Bitcoin going to be doing now. So a lot of people are on board with this now, that we are in a downtrend, or we're entering a downtrend, or about to begin a dump, basically. So I've charted out this pitchfork tool. I've got one on XRP too, and we're looking at basically supports and resistances here within this pitchfork here. Now, if we break out of it, then technically, we could go bullish. And we're at the top of it at the moment, which to me wouldn't mean that we're going to be breaking out of it. What it means to me is that we're going to be breaking down from it. We've got a variety of different supports and resistances of different kinds. We've got moving averages, we've got itchy clouds, we've also got the pitchfork tool, we've also got historical levels of supports. Each of these is going to offer some kind of tangible opportunity to bounce and reverse and go bullish again, and only to me now, only when we've broken out of this pitchfork will I entertain the fact that the trend has reversed and gone back bullish again. So at the moment, it's still early days. We're only in the top of the top level of the pitchfork, the very top layer here. So breaking down from here to the bottom as of today will bring us down to 8,700, okay, or 8,675. So to me, that is very possible. I know that's a big drop from where we are right now. I think it's very possible, and this is what I'm looking for it to do. I'm not only that. I mean, we will get bounces here, and we will bounce likely towards the top of this pitchfork, wherever that may be at the time. But not only will we come down here, we will either ride this very top trend down, or we will break down significantly beneath it to the bottom level here, which even if we were to look at it today, that's 8,100, and we'll call it 8,150. I just like to round up my numbers to make it easier for me, and that isn't out of the realms of possibilities. There's a lot of people calling for that already as a dump all the way down straight to that, so that's possible. That's definitely possible. Now, the thing is, the main areas of support are going to be these levels here. So this is a historical level, which is, first of all, we've got this one here, 7,700. You can see from 7,700 where we were supported here before our absolute calamity event. And also we were resistance here, we were support here. So there's a variety of reasons why 7,700 is a relatively... that's not 7,700. A relatively strong support, because it's acted as both support and resistance for the best part of over a year, when we get to it. So I would expect that is our first opportunity to find a decent bounce and maybe a reversal from there. We'll see how we react to that when we get to it and at what time frame we get to it. If we get to that today, for instance, I wouldn't expect a reversal. I'd expect a continuation. And breaking down beneath this pitchfork, by the way, is super bearish. I mean, that's just tragic. And what I would say to that is that if we do break out beneath the pitchfork, then we're looking for a new low on Bitcoin, and I get a lot of stick for this. But you've got to chart for everything, all right? So if we break above it, we're likely to go bullish again. If we break down beneath it, I would probably say we're looking for maybe even a in the 2000s Bitcoin, right? So terrible situation to be in, but that is possible. The pitchfork is going to keep us safe in a downtrend, even though we're downtrending within it. Breaking down beneath it is horrendously bearish. Breaking up above it offers up some opportunity for perhaps maybe an early reversal. That's where we are with this. Now, with XRP, we're trending with Bitcoin clearly and amplifying its downward trend. So whatever Bitcoin does, I would expect XRP, especially when the market's bearish, so this isn't just pullbacks, where alts can seem strong on occasion, that actually they gain sats sometimes when Bitcoin dumps, rarely, but it does happen. That's not the situation that's going to unfold now. With Bitcoin dominance going down, going up as the market goes down, it means that things like XRP are likely to go down further, so it will amplify those moves. So if we chart this out now, where are we here? At this very moment here, down to what I would consider to be the first opportunity for a bounce and a reversal. That's 15%, okay? So we'll measure 15% from where we are with XRP, down to 15% there. So that would bring us down to just short of 15 cent, all right? If you think that we're going to move at exactly the same speed as Bitcoin with XRP, or do you think that if we were to fall, we would fall further? I think it's only fair to assume that we would fall further. We'll fall more, which may bring us down to this descending trend of which was previously our resistance that we were stuck beneath for 2 years. We broke above it, and when we broke above it before, it was very generous for us, because a lot of people like me spotted this and traded on that, and then when we came back down to test it, we did test it as support. Now we broke above it here and we tested it as support too. We've not tested it ever since that, but we are downtrending now. It's reasonable for me to assume that we will test this as a support. So where is the best place to go long or to take profit on shorts if the calamity takes place? It will be on this descending trend, and it's fast approaching as eventually a zero, to be honest with you. We're not going to go to zero, but we could see very, very low XRP. So if this downtrend, and I'm kind of expecting this, unless something horrendous happens with world economies like it did last time, and I think Bitcoin will reflect that. I think this downtrend is likely, when I'm talking about these supports and resistances here being tangible ones of reversals, it means that the latest we can go is the earliest. It would be the 1st or the 2nd of August, all right? 1st or 2nd of August on the top pitchfork level there. If we were to fall down faster, we would reach it actually only in a couple of weeks. It's very unlikely. So we're talking about, we've got a month of, perhaps maybe a month to 3 weeks of downtrend, if we were to fall nice and slowly. So let's just map those time frames out, okay? And times aren't the greatest thing to chart out, especially the way I'm doing it, but this is just a rough estimate, okay? This is if we're just going for this downtrend and we're not going to be pushed over a cliff by the world economies, which could obviously happen as well. So just to fill you in there, unless you don't follow my videos regularly, if the S&P and the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq and the FTSE and the rest of the world decide that they've topped out and they're going to start downtrending, and even worse, if they were to collapse for whatever reason, which I don't think they're going to collapse. I think they might start a little downtrend. I think there's a lot of things to say that they're going to be propped up. I don't think things are quite as bad as the sensationalists say they are. There's certainly a bubble. There's always a bubble, but there's still some measures that can be taken to keep those assets up, the stocks up, which will prolong any kind of significant downtrend or collapse. It's not likely to collapse unless there's another world event, obviously, that would price that in. But if we do start downtrend on those markets, that'll be reflected in Bitcoin and obviously XRP. So back to where I was saying with timings. So at the beginning of August will take us down to this level here, which is so low that my thinker doesn't even get there. We're talking about 10. We're basically talking about another. We're revisiting that low of around about 10 cents. If we were to continue with just a simple downtrend with Bitcoin, we're talking about the resistance line actually, and that will be coming into this area here of the pitchfork. So to me, I think that there's a very, very, very strong chance now that we will find a 10 cent XRP again, or if not 10, around about 12 cent XRP again. If we break down beneath the pitchfork, obviously that's super bearish. Like I said with Bitcoin, same rules apply. If we break down beneath the descending support trend, again that would be pretty bad as well. But coming into this pitchfork that I've charted out here for XRP, it should have all, if Bitcoin is simply downtrending and it bounces roughly at the time frames that I'm expecting it to on those supports of 6,600, 7,700, it will all be over by the 1st or the 2nd of August. So 1st, 2nd of August, if we rode this downtrend all the way down to the bottom layer of the pitchfork, which is possible because, like I say, first layer of support first layer of the pitchfork with Bitcoin isn't so bad. And that would bring us up to that time frame, and I'm expecting that XRP will amplify those downtrends and those downtrending moves. It would actually take us, to the bottom level of this pitchfork, meaning that around about the 1st, 2nd of August, we'll be hitting it. We'll be actually touching the downtrending level of support. So it's probably a coincidence, but it's also something that's worth thinking about, because that's over a month away, just over a month away, and it's worth having that in the back of your mind that we could be hitting this level here at the same time as downtrending at a more severe rate than Bitcoin. And if we do touch that area, that might be the bottom. And if Bitcoin decides it wants to bottom out at that level, which I think it, worst case scenario, if it breaks down here, it probably will reverse around 6,600 unless we break outside of the pitchfork. Those two things kind of tied together. We would basically be revisiting this lower here. We'd also be bouncing, or should I say touching, we might not bounce, but touching the support that that has been a relevant resistance and now support for over 2 years, 2.5 years, as well as being inside a channel that hopefully we'll stay within. To me, that's technically my plan for it. Okay, so all the fiat currency that I decide to save up and I put into XRP, which won't be a lot, but it will be some, will go in around this level, around that date. That's my plan. Now the plan obviously is over a month away, and all kinds of things can happen in 1 month, especially in a downtrend like this. So anything is possible. Anything could happen, but charting out for a month from now and setting a plan isn't such a bad idea. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if it does, then I'll be ready for it, and that'll be the plan. Until then, I'll be shorting all the way down, and then waiting for my opportunity to perhaps take a long. And the long will only work if Bitcoin shows us that it wants to reverse from this level. It wouldn't work if we continued down, or if we broke outside the pitchfork. It wouldn't be worth doing it. But if it followed this pitchfork all the way down to these levels, either this level or this level, then yeah, I would say that the timing and the channel and the supports and resistances would transfer over to XRP, giving me the opportunity to perhaps take a nice low leveraged long with all the XRP that I've accumulated around that level between 10 to 12 cent. Okay, but if the worst does happen, then obviously we'll be looking at levels lower than 10 cent. We could be looking at 5 cent or lower than that, but that's something we can't account for at the moment. Not really, because the charts don't give us the opportunity to really go into those levels with XRP. So this is the best I can do at the moment, and this is the plan that I've set. So things are bearish until further notice. They might be considerably bearish, in all fairness, considering where XRP came from at its all-time high of $3.50 or more. But I'm pretty confident that XRP will do one of those 1000x runs, not 1000x, 1000%. So 1000% runs. The question is, from what bottom level? Will it be 10 cent? Will it be 12 cent? Will it be 5 cent? It certainly won't be doing it from where we are right now, because we've got further to fall. But will it do it? I'm pretty confident that we will see 1000% move to the up from XRP between now and maybe 2 years. So I think now is a time to be perhaps maybe interested in XRP, as we are probably looking to find it at a level that it may not reach ever again, which would be around about, in my book, about between 10 to 12%. And then we'll ride, or should I say, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't say we, but I will be riding that up with a modest amount of XRP, with a reasonable leverage, maybe 2 to 3x, maybe 5x, depending on how confident I am. And I'll be riding that up perhaps for the best part of 18 months. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.